Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to KRS TV. This is your boy Kenny, and this is a brand new episode of my show here on YouTube called Tea and Scandals. I do apologize for the delay. I've been, crazy busy, but I haven't forgotten about you guys, and I'm so happy to do this brand new episode for you of Tea and Scandals, and I'd like to thank you all for clicking on. And this episode is about a child prodigy whose career has spanned almost 60 years in the music industry. And I am talking about no other than Stevie Wonder. He is considered to be one of the most critically and commercially successful music performers of the 20th century. He was born in 1950 as Stephen Hardaway Jenkins in Saginaw, Michigan. He's the third of 6 children. He was born 6 weeks premature, and along with the oxygen-rich atmosphere in his incubator, resulted in ROP, which is retinopathy of prematurity, which is the growth of his eyes is aborted, affecting his retinas, which resulted in him, becoming blind. His parents divorced when he was 4 years old, and his mother, along with him and the rest of his siblings, moved to Detroit, Michigan, where Stevie sang as a child in a choir at Whitestone Baptist Church, and his mother took back her maiden name and changed his surname to Morris, and his name, Stephen Hardaway Morris, is still his legal name to this day. He began playing instruments at an early age, which includes the piano, drums, harmonica, and the bongas. He formed a partnership with a friend of his named John, and calling themselves Steve and John, and they would perform on street corners and at local parties. In 1961, he was discovered by Ronnie White, a member of the Miracles, who took him and his mother to Motown for an audition. Berry Gordy, in his the Motown 40 documentary, talks about how Stevie's talent blew him away, but what sold him was Stevie playing the harmonica. And Stevie Wonder was signed to Motown Tamla label at the age of 11 years old, and was given the name Little Stevie Wonder due to his age and his young genius abilities. And the name Little Stevie Wonder was given to him by producer Clarence Paul, who took him under his wing and became his mentor. He had many releases in his first year, but none of them were hits. And in 1962, he joined the Motown Revue as one of the opening acts. And it was on the Motown Revue is where, Little Stevie Wonder struck gold. His opening performance at the Regal Theater in Chicago was recorded and released as an album, Recorded Live, The 12-Year-Old Genius, and the song Fingertips from the album became a major hit, going #1 pop, #1 R&B, and the success of Fingertips took the album to #1 on the pop charts, making Little Stevie Wonder the first young artist to achieve this feat at the age of 13 years old. Phenomenal. However, his recordings after this were not successful, and his voice began to change due to him getting older, and there were talks with the Motown executives to cancel his contract. But Sylvia Moy, a new producer and songwriter on the label, convinced Berry Gordy that it's not over for Stevie and that she wanted to work with him. So they gave her the assignment, so if she didn't get a hit on Stevie Wonder, they were going to let him go from Motown, so the pressure was high. The song was Uptight, Everything's Alright, which was the first hit single Stevie Wonder was one of the co-writers along with Sylvia Moy and Henry Cosby. The song went #3 on the pop charts and #1 on the R&B charts, and garnered Stevie Wonder 2 Grammy nominations for Best R&B Song and Best Male R&B Vocal Performance. Following the success of Uptight, he had other hits such as With a Child's Heart, which went #8 on the R&B charts. This song was also covered by both Michael Jackson and Raven-Symoné. Blowing in the Wind, written by Bob Dylan, his version went number 9 on the pop charts and number 1 in the R&B charts, and his mentor Clarence Paul sang with him on the track. He also worked as a songwriter on Motown, where he composed for himself and fellow Motown artists. He composed, along with Henry Cosby, the hit song Tears of a Clown for Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, and between 1968 to 1970 had a string of hits such as I Was Made to Love Her, which went number 2 pop and number 1 R&B. For Once in My Life, love that song, went to number 2 pop and number 2 R&B. Sign, Seal, Deliver, I'm Yours, his first ever self-composed track, went number 3 pop and number 1 R&B. And another one of my favorite songs, My Chérie Amour, My Darling Love, one of my favorite songs by Stevie Wonder, went number 4 pop, number 4 R&B, and number 4 on the UK charts. In 1970, Stevie Wonder married Syreeta Wright, a singer-songwriter and a former secretary of Motown. Even though the marriage lasted 18 months, they remained good friends and co-wrote for his album Where I'm Coming From, and scored a hit with If You Really Love Me, which went number 8 pop and number 4 on the R&B charts. And she also co-wrote for Stevie Wonder's albums Music of My Mind and Talking Book. And she also had a huge hit with Billy Preston titled With You I'm Born Again, which went number 4 pop, number 2 on the adult contemporary charts, and number 2 on the UK, making it an international hit. Sadly, Syreeta Wright died in 2004 after a long battle with breast and bone cancer. In 1970, Stevie Wonder co-wrote along with Syreeta Wright and Lee Garrett, and also did music arrangements on the hit It's a Shame for fellow Motown act The Spinners, which went, and I love that track too, it went number 14 pop and number 4 on the R&B charts. And this accomplishment was used for his ongoing negotiations with Motown for creative autonomy. And he let his contract expire with Motown in 1971 following his 21st birthday, and he moved to New York, where he released 2 independent albums. And in 1972, he signed a new deal with Motown, giving him creative control and a higher royalty rate. The only artist other than Stevie Wonder to achieve creative control within the Motown label was Marvin Gaye. In 1972, he released Music of My Mind, one of my favorite albums, and the album went to 21 on the pop charts and number 6 on the R&B charts. He also had minor hits with singles Keep Running and Superwoman, Where Were You When I Needed You. Superwoman is one of my favorite songs. But Stevie Wonder really hit the stratosphere with the follow-up album Talking Book. One of my favorite songs on this album is You Got It Bad Girl. The album's first track single, You Are the Sunshine of My Life, went number 1 pop, number 3 R&B, and number 1 on the adult contemporary charts. And he won his first Grammy Award for Best Pop Vocal Performance for this song. However, the first released track from the album Talking Book was Superstition, definitely one of his signature tunes, and went number 1 pop and number 1 R&B, his first to do so since his release of Fingertips. And it's one of his, and I mentioned it's one of his signature songs, and he would go to win 2 Grammys for Superstition for Best R&B Song and for Best R&B Male Vocal Performance in 1973. And he also went on tour with the Rolling Stones and appeared on Sesame Street performing Superstition on the show. Following Talking Book, he released the album Inner Visions, which consisted of hits Higher Ground, which went number 4 pop and number 1 R&B. Living for the City, one of my favorite tracks, went number 8 on the pop charts and number 1 on the R&B charts. Golden Lady went number 4 pop. All in Love Is Fair went number 10 on the adult contemporary charts. Don't You Worry About a Thing, one of my favorite tracks as well, went number 16 pop and number 2 R&B. And He's Mr. Know-It-All went number 10 on the UK charts. The album was a huge success, and Stevie Wonder garnered 3 more Grammys for Intervisions, including Album of the Year, making him the most influential and acclaimed black artist in the 1970s. In August 1973, sadly, Stevie Wonder was nearly killed in a car accident while on tour in North Carolina and was in a coma for 4 days. He made a full recovery and returned to the tour and played a sold-out concert at Madison Square Gardens in 1974. The same year, he released the album Fulfilling This First Finale, which consisted of hits You Haven't Done Nothing, with the Jackson 5 singing backup. It went number 1 pop and number 1 R&B. Boogie on Reggae Woman, another one of my favorite tracks, went number 3 pop and number 1 R&B. And classics such as They Don't Go When I Go, a song he performed at Michael Jackson's memorial service in 2009, and Creepin', which has Minnie Riperton on background vocals, also was remade by Kenny Rankin and Luther Vandross. This album also received 3 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year. That same year, he co-wrote and produced his former wife Sarita Wright's album, Stevie Wonder Presents Sarita, and was on the album A Toot and a Snore in 1974. And A Toot and a Snore was a Los Angeles jam session. The album also consisted of Paul McCartney and John Lennon, the only time Paul and John played together since the breakup of the Beatles. In 1976, he released the double album Songs in the Key of Life, and this album became the best-selling and his most critically acclaimed albums in his career, and one of the best albums in pop history. The hits consisted of Sir Duke, one of his signature songs. It went number 1 pop, number 1 R&B, number 2 in the UK, number 1 in Canada. I Wish went number 1 pop, number 1 R&B, number 5 on the UK charts, and number 1 in Canada. Isn't She Lovely, a song dedicated to the birth of his daughter Aisha, went number 23 on the adult contemporary charts. His song As went number 36 pop, number 36 R&B, and number 24 on the easily listening charts. This song would be covered by George Michael and Mary J. Blige in 1999. Another Star went number 32 pop, number 18 R&B, and number 2 on the dance charts, and number 29 on the easily listening charts. Notable classics on the album are Love's in Need of Love Today, Pastime Paradise, which will go to be sampled by Coolio for his mega hit Gangsta Paradise, and the parody song Amish Paradise by Weird Al Yankovic. Knocks Me Off My Feet would, another one of my favorite songs, would be covered by Donnell Jones, who Donnell's version went number 14 on the R&B hip hop charts. Other artists who covered the song were Tevin Campbell, Luther Vandross, Jeffrey Osborne, Najee, and Marco Cezanne. In the classic Village Ghetto Land. Songs in the Key of Life also won 3 Grammys, including Album of the Year. He also won a Grammy for Producer of the Year in 1976. In 1979, he released Stevie Wonder's Journey Through the Secret Life of Plants. In 1980, he wrote and produced the number 1 R&B hit Let's Get Serious for Jermaine Jackson, and released the album Hotter Than July, his first platinum album, and consisted the iconic hit Happy Birthday and a mission to get Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday a national holiday, and that was achieved in 1983, the year I was born. Cool. It went number 2 on the UK charts. Master Blaster Jammin', another one of my favorite tracks from Stevie Wonder, went number 5 pop and number 1 R&B, and went number 1 in Switzerland, New Zealand, and Austria. And it's an ode to the reggae legend Bob Marley. I Ain't Gonna Stand For It another track of the album, went number 11 pop and number 4 R&B. Lately, a classic hit, went number 3 on the UK charts. The cover version by Jodeci, was a bigger hit, going number 4 pop and number 1 R&B in 1993. In 1982, Stevie Wonder released Stevie Wonder's original Musicarium, which consisted of previous hits and 4 new tracks, such as Frontline, the classic Ribbons in the Sky, which went number 10 on the R&B charts, and he also performed it at Whitney Houston's funeral in 2012, and it also was nominated for a Grammy for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance. That Girl, and this is my jam. I love this song. It went number 14 pop and number 1 R&B, and would be covered and sampled by other artists such as Joe, Tupac Shakur, Queen Latifah, Hue and Cry, and MJG of hip hop duo 8Ball and MJG. And Do I Do, another signature song, and definitely one of my favorites, where the song featured Dizzy Gillespie. It went number 13 pop, number 2 R&B, and number 1 on the dance charts. And it would later be sampled by Ja Rule, along with it would be sampled by Ja Rule on his hit Living It Up, which featured Case. And it received 3 Grammy nominations, including Best R&B Song, and That Girl was also nominated in that category as well. Stevie Wonder also had a hit song with Paul McCartney called Ebony and Ivory, which went number 1 pop, number 1 on the adult charts, number 1 in the UK, and also number 1 in Switzerland, Norway, Spain, Ireland, Germany, Japan, and Canada. In 1983, he performed and wrote the song Stay Gold, a theme to the film The Outsiders. The same year, he did the soundtrack album for the film The Woman in Red, a romantic comedy starring Gene Wilder, who was also the director. The lead single, I Just Called to Say I Love You, was a massive hit, going number 1 pop, number 1 R&B, number 1 on the adult contemporary charts, number 1 on the UK charts, and number 1 in Australia, Austria, Canada, Denmark, the Netherlands, France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Spain, New Zealand, South Africa, Sweden, and Switzerland. The song would go on to win a Golden Globe and the Academy Award for Best Original Song. At the Oscars, he dedicated his win to Nelson Mandela, upsetting the South African government, and they banned him from South African radio. Later, he would become a part of the United Nations Special Committee Against Apartheid for his stance against racism in South Africa, and they recognized him in 1985. I Just Called to Say I Love You was also nominated for 3 Grammys. Afterwards, he appeared on The Cosby Show in the episode A Touch of Wonder. In 1985, he released the album In Square Circle, one of my Stevie Wonder favorite albums. And the hit singles from the album includes Part-Time Lover, one of my favorite tracks. It went number 1 pop, number 1 R&B, and number 1 on the dance charts. Go Home went number 10 pop and number 2 R&B and number 1 on the dance charts. Overjoyed, another one of his signature songs, went number 24 pop, number 8 on the R&B charts, and Stranger on the Shore of Love went number 55 on the UK charts. And one of my favorite songs on this album is My Whereabouts. And this album, he would go on to win his 13th Grammy for the album for Best R&B Performance Male. And the album also went number 5 pop and number 1 on the R&B charts. And he also hosted Saturday Night Live during this time, and was also on Shaka Khan's hit I Feel For You, a song written by Prince and featured hip-hop legend Millie Mill, and Stevie Wonder was playing the signature harmonica on the song. And he also played harmonica on There Must Be an Angel, Playing With My Heart by the Eurythmics, and he also played harmonica on Elton John's I Guess It's Why They Call It the Blues. And, and he also sang on the charitable single for African famine relief called We Are the World, which was written by Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie, and appeared on the song That's What Friends Are for the charitable single, which was a charitable single for AIDS research and prevention. And along on that song, he appeared with Dionne Warwick, Gladys Knight, and Elton John. And it was a massive hit, going #1 pop, #1 R&B, #1 on the adult contemporary charts, and #1 in Canada and Australia. And it won Stevie Wonder another Grammy along with the other performers for Best Pop Performance by a Duo or Group. He also played harmonica on John Denver's song If Ever, a song he co-wrote with Stephanie Andrews. He also wrote the song I Do Love You for the Beach Boys' 1985 album of the same name, The Beach Boys. And also played harmonica on Can't Help Lovin' That Man on the Broadway album by Barbra Streisand. In 1987, he appeared on Michael Jackson's Bad album on the duet Just Good Friends. And Michael Jackson also sang duet on Stevie Wonder's album Characters on the song called Get It. Characters was released in 1987, and it had a lot of minor hits. The song Get It, his duet with Michael Jackson, went #4 on the R&B charts and #11 on the adult contemporary charts. Skeletons went #19 pop, #1 R&B, and #20 on the dance charts. And You Will Know, another one of my favorite songs, and my mom loves this song. It went #1 R&B, his last R&B single to go #1 to date. And it also went number 16th on the adult contemporary charts. And Characters, the album, also garnered him three more Grammy nominations. In 1991, he recorded the soundtrack to Spike Lee's film Jungle Fever. Tracks include Jungle Fever, These Three Words, and Gotta Have You. In 1995, he released the album Conversation Piece, which has the hit song For Your Love, another one of my favorite songs. It went #11 R&B, and he won 2 Grammys for this song, for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance and Best R&B Song. I also love the song Tomorrow Robins Will Sing, which was on the album, and the album reached number 16 on the pop charts. In 1997, he did a duet with Babyface called How Come How Long, a song about domestic violence, and the song was nominated twice for a Grammy Award for Best Pop Collaboration with Vocals. And he also played harmonica on Sting's 1999 release Brand New Day. Stevie Wonder continues to perform and record and is a living legend, not only as an artist but also as a social and political activist. He has won a total of 25 Grammys, the most won by a solo artist. He has even been inducted into the Rock and Roll and Songwriters Hall of Fame, and became the 4th artist to receive the Montreal Jazz Festival Spirit Award, as well as a Lifetime Achievement Award from the National Civil Rights Museum, and also being named one of the United Nations Messengers of Peace, and earning a Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Barack Obama in 2014. In 2016, the city of Detroit renamed a portion of his childhood street, Milwaukee Avenue West, into Stevie Wonder Avenue, and he was awarded an honorary key to the city by Mayor Mike Duggan. So this is what I have on the episode of Stevie Wonder. Get down in those comments. Let me know some of your favorite songs from Stevie Wonder, as well as if I missed anything, put it down in those comments. Feel free to share with me, your thoughts and knowledge about Stevie Wonder. I truly enjoyed doing this episode, and I'm a huge Stevie Wonder fan, and I'm also a singer, so definitely Stevie Wonder is one of my biggest inspirations. So subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with another episode of Tea and Scandals. So until next time, everybody, take care.